how can it be possible that this £500 guitar processor can and will replace my almost £2,000 Kemper Profiler? For the past 4 months, I have been extensively testing the brand new Boss GT-1000 core, and in today's video, I want to give you my review. Now, my biggest takeaway from using the GT-1000 core for the past few months has been the DSP processing power on the internal chip. And I'm going to be honest, I've probably never truly really appreciated the importance of having so much power and headroom on the internal chip of your guitar processor. For the past 3, maybe even 4 years, I have exclusively been using the Kemper Profiler, and I've kind of got used to working within the limitations of the Kemper Profiler, only being able to use one amp profile at a time, the awful sounding distortion pedals that are built into the unit, and basically in order to create a rhythm and solo tone, basically just getting used to creating multiple patches, running different captures of different profiles and amplifiers in order to get an awesome tone out of that unit. And don't get me wrong, Kemper Profiler is fantastic, it sounds good, it does the job. However, the GT-1000 core has so much more power in such a smaller package. Seriously, you can run 24 simultaneous effects blocks, all of which are completely customizable in where you can place them within your effects chain. And additionally, on top of that, you can run 2 amplifiers simultaneously, which unlocks some really advanced features such as channel switching, all sorts of different things by utilizing the dividers inside of the effects chain. Now, for most people, one of the common downfalls of guitar modeling technology and guitar processors is usually the lackluster guitar effects that are provided and integrated with the unit. Just look at the brand new Neural Quad Cortex. Everyone's talking about how great it sounds as an amplifier unit, but every single YouTuber has commented on how disappointing the reverb sound and how disappointing the delay sound. Well, obviously with the GT-1000 core, we have a very unique offering here from Boss, because what are Boss great at doing? Boss are great at creating incredible, unique guitar effects. And on the GT-1000 core, there's a huge list of types of effects you can choose from, all of which have been influenced from the years upon years of research Boss have made into the guitar effects world. And for example, you've got incredible delays, reverbs, and modulation sounds, all of them of which have been influenced by the algorithm of the 500 series that Boss released a few years ago. Now, people always say, does size matter? Well, with my music equipment, it really does. Now, this is my old setup. I've got the Kemper toaster head, I've got a cable, and I also have the Kemper foot remote. It's heavy, it's bulky, and it's so 2010. Now, this is my new setup. Just the GT-1000 core. This is literally it. I've got 3 foot switches built into the guitar processing unit itself. These 3 foot switches are completely reassignable. I can remap these to control literally any parameter I want within the menu. And additionally, I can also reassign an LED on and off color to whatever I like. It could be blue, it could be red, green, yellow, whatever you want. Full RGB spectrum to your own customized color code. On top of all of that customization of the integrated foot switches, we also have the ability to create up to 16 custom controller assigns, whether that be with an external MIDI foot controller, external expression pedal, or an external foot switch like the Boss FS6. Now, a discussion point that I always feel is overlooked when people do these reviews and comparisons, they always seem to focus on how does it sound compared to a Kemper? How does this device sound compared to a Helix? How does it sound compared to a real amp? And if we're brutally honest, in a blind test, nobody would be able to hear the difference between all of the different brands' devices, and probably not even the difference between the real amplifier, because the technology is that good across all of the guitar processing units that are available. However, from a guitar player's perspective, when you are playing and you've connected your guitar to the device, how it feels varies greatly between the different devices. And there's something about the GT-1000's core AIRD technology that makes it feel alive. And I noticed this first time I used the device back in November once I'd received my pre-order through the post. I connected my guitar and something about it felt responsive and dynamic, nothing I'd ever experienced before from using digital amplifier technology. It really did feel like for like plugging into a real amplifier. It felt really strange, and I felt more connected to the tone and what I was creating with the actual guitar. Nothing I have experienced before from a feel perspective from a digital guitar. Now, there are a few areas with the Bosch GT-1000 core that I do not like, or rather could be improved. Now, the first issue I've had with the GT-1000 core is the fact that I cannot get any of the USB modes to work with my computer. Now, I recently updated to the new firmware 1.02, and the issue I'm having is I cannot get a driver that matches that firmware number on my GT-1000 core. Now, I have a really old iMac from like early 2013, and I simply cannot update that iMac to iOS 11. It won't let me update to the latest operating system that Apple has to offer. So this means I cannot download the latest driver that Bosch has released to match my latest firmware on the GT-1000 core. So I'm simply having issues in trying to get the compatibility to work with the driver and the operating system. I don't think this is Bosch's fault. I'm going to put it more down to my computer and my operating system in just a specific situation, but it's something to be aware of. So I haven't been able to try out any of the Bosch Tone Studio or any of the audio interface capabilities that this device has, which are actually really cool features. Now, I did get the GT-1000 core to be recognized as a mass storage device on my computer when I was updating the firmware without any issues whatsoever. So this does show that the GT-1000 core is working perfectly fine, and it's my computer that's causing the issue. And I did use the official Roland and Bosch micro USB cable because this is data only. It's designed for transferring data, whereas other micro USB cables are designed for data transfer and charging capabilities, which aren't compatible with the GT-1000 core. Now, something I would love to see from Bosch in a future firmware update is a system setting that allows you to tell the GT-1000 core whether it's going to be in effects mode only or whether it's going to be used in amp mode. Because obviously there's a variety of different use cases people are going to be using the GT-1000 core within. They're either going to use it as an all-in-one unit for all of its preamp capabilities and amp modeling, and then also the effects additionally on top of that. However, because it's so small, compact, and powerful, there's a bunch of guitarists that are probably going to use this for its effects capabilities only. So they're going to integrate it into a pre-existing pedal board with a real valve amplifier. And what happens is, out the box, on every single patch, the air preamp capabilities and guitar modeling are automatically turned on. So this means you manually at the moment have to go into each patch individually and disable the preamp section on the GT-1000 core if you want to integrate this for effects only with a real life amplifier. And a system setting would have been amazing on the GT-1000 core where you could just simply tell it, we're going to be using this for effects only, so disable all of the guitar modeling capabilities it can do, or be like, yep, we're going to use this for effects and the air preamp capabilities, and then all of the presets will just change automatically. That's something I hope they intend to do in the future, because it would make this a lot faster to set up out the box. So what are my closing thoughts on the GT-1000 core? Now, if I'm brutally honest, when I first got the effects unit, it took me ages to adjust my workflow. I felt very overwhelmed by the device because I'd never had so many options in terms of customizing the placement of effects and creating my very own signal chain for my own presets. It took me ages to understand how to operate the device and truly get to grips with what it can do. But once I began filming my product guide and my ultimate guide that I recently launched, you can check it out, link in the video description, and I started deep diving into the manual, going through it and replicating all of the different settings and combining them together, I soon learned how easy this device is to use. It's probably one of the easiest guitar processing units, yet one of the most advanced guitar processing units out there. It's brilliant having this huge menu screen that allows you to just deep dive into any menu and adjust things. Now, an unpopular opinion that I have on the Bosch GT-1000 core and also the GT-1000 is the fact the device is way too cheap. If you compare what Bosch are achieving here with the GT-1000 series to the likes of Kemper Profilers, Line 6 Helix, the Neural Quad Cortex, the Axe-Fx, all of those devices that this is competing with have a few extra zeros on the price tag of the GT-1000 series. And just by standard human nature, I think everybody assumes that the Kemper Profilers, the Line 6 Helixes, the Axe-Fx are better than the Bosch GT-1000 core because they are more expensive. And I'm going to be brutally honest, after I filmed a few more videos with the Kemper Profiler comparing it to the Neural Quad Cortex, be sure to like and subscribe, I'm going to be putting the Kemper Profiler probably on eBay. I've got no purpose for it anymore. It takes longer to set up, it's bigger, it's heavier, it's got less processing power than the GT-1000 core. The GT-1000 core is smaller, more powerful, it's easier to set up, and it's cheaper. So if it ever broke, I can go buy a new one for way cheaper. You could buy 3 of them for the price of a Kemper Profiler. So with that said, the GT-1000 core is going to be my primary go-to guitar processing unit of choice for the rest of 2021. Yes, I'm checking out the Neural Core Cortex, but having seen Paul David's video on that, I don't think I'm going to be using it. Now, if you end up getting yourself the Boss GT-1000 core, don't forget to check out the links in the video description down below for my Boss GT-1000 core ultimate guide. This is a course that takes you through all of the different settings that are present on the GT-1000 core to help you get the most out of your new guitar processing unit. But as always, I've been Ben Rollins. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.